Hello, obedient movers and shakers all over the world. I am here again today to address issues. There is this interview that I just watched on TVC, a TVC interview, and I am prompted to make this video. Before I will go into this, I want to appreciate all Yoruba's obedient supporters. I really appreciate you. I am grateful to you guys because it is not easy to overcome ethnic bias, ethnic sentiment, and also religious sentiment to support someone else. If you are a Yoruba and you are obedient, it shows that you are educated, you are different, you are honest, and you are a good person. But what I'm about to say here today is not going to be pleasing, but it has to be said. It has to be said. We have to let it out there so that people will get to know this. I am saying this because over the years, since 1960, the media in Nigeria has been controlled by Yorubas. Most media houses are owned by Yorubas. So they control the narrative. Whatever they tell the rest of Nigerians about you, that is what Nigerians will believe about you. I can tell that being an Igbo person, there is someone somewhere in the north who hates you, who you have never done anything bad to, who you have never offended in any way in your life. You have never transacted any business with the person, but the person just hates you for no reason. No other reason that the person read something about the Igbos on a column of newspaper written by a Yoruba journalist. Even the narrative that Igbos love money, this whatever negative things that other ethnic groups in Nigeria knows about the Igbos is true what they read through the newspaper. It's not like they have had any one-on-one encounter with Igbos most time before they start hating Igbos. It's just about what they read from the newspaper or what they saw on the national television. So that's why I am making this video today. Watch this interview done by TVC. TVC is a Tinubu's television company. The Nation newspaper also belongs to Tinubu. Watch this interview with clean heart, with open heart, and see how they do their own journalism, how they do the interview. They invited P2B supporters on that program and see the kind interview that TVC is doing. Just watch this interview and see how they try to humiliate the obedient supporter they invited on that interview. Watch it. It's a 10-minute interview, but after watching it, you will understand what I'm talking about, that we really need to change. We really need to stop some Yorubas. Let me say some, because I know there are a good number of Yorubas who are obedient and who are not like that. But some of these guys who are doing this, they have been doing this since 1960. Facebook, social media like Facebook, for example, I think they just invented Facebook in the year 2005. So it's only until recent that at least other ethnic groups in Nigeria can now aid their view through social media. It's not like we even own any media company. The Sun newspaper belongs to Ojus Okalu, but Ojus Okalu cannot be considered as an Igbo man that can be trusted. I think also this day newspaper also belongs to an Igbo person. But this other newspaper, most of them belong to Yorubas. And whatever they write, whatever they put out there, that is what the people will believe about you. So I feel that people should know this. People should understand this. So if you are watching news, if you need information, try to verify the owner of the company that you are sourcing information from. Because some of these companies, they are not honest. They are not good people. They are not doing anything to help this country. They always try to control the narrative to fit their own agenda and not the national agenda. Thank you. Sit back and watch this interview.
The issue of structure, which is really very essential as long as elections in Nigeria is concerned. You definitely need to have structures and put in place. I mean, just while we're on break, legal practitioner, we were mentioning something very important. At the polling units, which you said we have about 13,000 of them in Lagos alone. In Lagos only, we have
it differs from state to state.
State.
Now, so at this polling unit, you need agents who will man so that they can actually watch out for your interest and everything.
The interest of the party.
Now, so that brings you to the fact that a party that is serious, that wants to get its votes counted and well recorded, should have agents positioned in these places. So you're looking at least minimum of 2.
Yeah.
Now, so that's 26,000 persons
In Lagos.
in Lagos for your party by every polling unit. Now, it doesn't go like that with the 36 states. Some have fewer, but let's just put it at, say, 8 for some other states. You need that level of manpower. That's what you call, that's one of the tiny bits of what you refer to as structure. Now, also, we've seen instances where, where you don't have a candidate in other positions. Understand the fact that this is still a country with large level of people who are not very literate. Now, so they just follow whatever anybody tells them. If you don't have anybody representing your interests in a particular position, people will just come and say, this is where you put it. There are aged people, there are young people who don't understand how these things work. Now, so at the end of the day, all these things count.
All right.
When it comes to elections.
Yes, I understand we have Mr. Nestor back with us. Nestor, perhaps we could allow you the time to respond to some of these issues that we have raised.
Right,
and let me
thank you so
also
much.
add that while we talk about the issue of structures for your party, the Labour Party, for instance, which has taken advantage of the new or social media, but the common or average Nigerian at the grassroots or the rural areas has no idea what Twitter is about.
Well, it baffles me when I keep hearing people trying to give advice as if people in the movement do not know what to do. I heard your guest talking about polling unit, having this. Who told you that we don't have those things? Do you think we'll just come on TV and be telling you about our strategies? Have you heard about unit-based leadership? In the past, you'll be hearing about words. Have you heard about unit-based? Let me tell you, we're going to have unit leaders, polling unit leaders, unit by unit all over the country. Has any political party in the past done that? So I told you earlier on, we're not here to be revealing our strategies. So leave that one for us. Don't give us any advice. Let me also remind your guests that many of the people that are in the movement, they have been members of various political parties that have been so active that they know all these things. So don't just assume that some people just gather themselves together and they don't know what they're doing. I think it's good for them to keep underrating us. They will wait for a shocker. We are going to shock them with our votes. They've been saying we do not have structures. Let's meet at the ballot. Then they will know that we have structures.
Can I also ask you, Mr. Nestor, the emergence of Peter Obi, if eventually he becomes Mr. President, if eventually, will that put an end to the crisis, the agitations, the tensions in the Southeast region?
Well, all I know is that Peter Obi and the Dirty Baba Ahmed are cerebral people who understand people's management because they have been CEO in their various companies, and that's what I'm saying. And most of our leaders that have been running this country, how many of them have run a business of their own? How many of them have run a corporate organizations? That's why you see them operating by instinct. They are not management-centered. They are not people-centric. Peter Obi is going to be people-centric. He's going to treat us like customers. Every CEO who want to treat people that comes to do business with him like customer. As any leader in this country treated us like customers. So that's what it's a paradigm shift. So we are looking at someone who will treat us like customers. When we have grievance, it will listen to us. So, and it's going to gather best of brains to resolve this problem. Look, Nigeria's problem is not beyond solution. What we need is people who are sincere. I told you earlier on, they are telling you 300 people were on bike to raid a prison. If 300 bikes are plying Ojuelegba Road, it will fill the road. And those 300 people went there, they parked the bike, as I suppose, they went in and do whatever they wanted to do, and they left. And the government up to now has not come out to tell us what actually happened. Is that the kind of leadership you want in a country like this?
Mr. Nestor, you have been a bit evasive with my answers and questions. I was asking, if Mr. Peter Obi eventually becomes the president, if he becomes, will that put an end to the tension, the agitations in the Southeast region? Would that put an end to the
Of
attacks we've
course.
seen in that part of the country?
Of course, because look, if you speak with a general, he will tell you that war is not ended at the battlefield. War is ended at the round table. Have they called any of the IPOB people to call them for discussion that what are your problems so that they can discuss with the government and hear them out and find solutions to their problem? Has this present government done that?
They have
not.
yeah, but they have the IPOB people have dissociated themselves from Peter Obi.
Well,
that
excuse
is
me,
not-
don't join
he's
me.
not one
Don't.
of them.
When I'm not talking. Honestly, I'm not here to talk about IPOB, and I don't want to join issues with the IPOB. All right, because I'm not an IPOB member, and I don't want to join issue with the issues of IPOB. All I'm telling you is that we need leadership that will discuss with aggrieved people from the north, from the south, from the west, from the east. Conversation, dialogue. That's what we need. All right. What happened in Kuje? If it had happened in Enugu or Abia State, what do you think the military will have done? Have they gone to Kuje now to go and kill people there like they did in the southeast? So don't let us go into that area, please. Don't let us go into that area at all. So we need a leader that will gather this country. This country is fragile. Peter Obi understands it. And when he gets there, he's going to get people from all parts of this country to sit down at the round table to discuss issues. IPOB, Yoruba, Igboho, and the people in the north, they will all discuss together and find solution to this problem. So this problem is solvable. It is because the present government is hiding behind more fingers, thinking that the talking heads in the Aso Rock, when issue comes up, will douse the tension. No, it's not going to help. The president himself has not taken time to address the nation, to assuage the feelings of the people. What kind of leadership is that? What kind of leadership is that?
All right. I want you to address the issue of
Just before we go, please, very briefly.
Yes, just before we go, you know, he has been talking about bringing a productive economy, but he himself has not done anything in the area, because this guy I'm talking about is being a productive man and a CEO, but he's basically made his money doing imports, and there are other issues about Obi, but just address this issue of he wants to bring a productive economy, but he has not even done anything in terms of
Producing.
Well, if we will talk about Obi, we can only allude to what he has done in the past.
Yes.
And one of the things that baffles me, which his supporters sell, is the fact that he was able to save money and put it in a bank for the state whilst he was governor. Now, but have we looked at what bank he put the money in? The same bank where he was chairman?
Yeah, man.
If you try that in saner climes, you will never be here running for presidency.
He was asked in the public.
Yes.
Last time he ran as vice president that he put Anambra money in his family account. And he said he was saving it in his family account for the state. Is that not enough for you not to even make any noise in public?
So, one, if you look at it, the money you're saving, it's good to
save money.
To save money. But at the same
But
time,
to
were
save in a
there
family
things
account?
to be done? No, were there things to be done that you didn't do? Was Anambra at its best at that time, infrastructure-wise, that you had to carry money and save? Then now, let's look at where you saved the money. In a place where your chief executive, that is an aberration. That is not the way to go. Things should not be done. These are things we should look at. So the day he becomes president of Nigeria and he saves money in his bank, then you know that he's done it before, he will do it again.
Apparently, the family account seems the safest.
Keep it in the family.
But that's a good place to wrap our conversation. Thank you so much, legal practitioner and social development advocate Olatubosun. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Virtually, we had Mr. Nestor Komolafe of the Peter Obi movement. Thank you so much, Mr. Nestor, for your thoughts.
I thought you would give me a right of reply to what they just said.
Absolutely,
you had so many.
Because I can see that they are putting Peter Obi on
hopefully
the
we'll
chart.
have you back. Hopefully we'll have you back on the program in the build-up to the elections. But thank you so much again, indeed, for your thoughts on the program. This is TVC Breakfast.